That was an extremely enlightening speech. Our next speaker is Shri Arjun Bharadwaj. Arjunji is quite a polymath. He's a writer, translator, engineer, enjoys composing poems, and he's well versed in Sanskrit, Kannada, English, Greek, and German. His research interests lie in comparative aesthetics of classical Greek and Sanskrit literature. He has deep interest in theatre, arts, and music. He has authored over 15 books and 50 research papers related to arts, aesthetics, literature, philosophy, and science. He is a visiting faculty at many universities in Bharat and abroad. So, here's our next speaker.
चिदानन्दकलांवाणीं वन्दे चन्द्रकलाधरां नैर्मल्यतारतम्येन बिम्बितां चित्तभित्तिषु. Very good afternoon, Shubha Madhyanaha to all of you present here. First of all, my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Nachiketa ji for inviting me here on this August gathering in this wonderful occasion to give my thoughts about the manner in which the Karnataka Sangeeta and Bharatiya Nritya are being politicized. Both the structure and the content of the classical art forms of India, how they are being damaged with vicious intents, with ulterior motives of the predatory religions of Islam and Christianity. So I'll try to throw some light about it, about the kind of tyranny that we are undergoing without being aware, the manner in which these intangible heritage elements of India, of Bharat, are being misused by the predatory religions. So we'll have a look at that. Request you to put the first slide. Yes. All of us would know that any text in the Bharatiya Sanskriti is thought of as an offspring of the Vedika Parampara. See, for example, the Natya Veda, the Natya Shastra itself is called the Panchama Veda. It is called Sarva Varnika Veda. It is a Veda, it's a knowledge bank meant for the education of the masses through entertainment. Entertainment is the medium and education is the ultimate purpose. In the very opening of the Natya Shastra, we hear this, we get to know this shloka. Jagraha Patyam Rugvedat, Samapyo Geetamevacha, Yajurvedat Abhinayan, Rasan Atharvanadapi. How was Natya? Natya is holistic theatre. Holistic theatre which includes dance, drama, music, literature, sculpture, painting, all of them coming together holistically. So the Natya Veda was created by Brahma Deva by extracting the Patya or literary aspect from the Rig Veda. The inspiration for music was derived from the Samaveda. The inspiration for the gestural language was derived from the Yajurveda, and the rasas, the Ashtarasas or the Navarasas, the inspiration was derived from the Atharva Veda. So every tradition in India has its roots in the Vedas, like many of us know. And it is only in the Bharatiya Sanskriti that kala or art is thought of as a bridge between the material and the spiritual. Today morning also, Mata Amritanand, my Mata, and as well as Mohan Bhagwatji, all of them, both of them mentioned this as well. So this link between the material and the spiritual is art. That is why one of the greatest aestheticians of India, called Vishwanatha, who lived in North India, he says, Rasananda is Brahmananda Sahodaraka. He is the younger brother of Brahmananda. Brahmananda is nothing but moksha, the Satchidananda Tattva. We all of us are aiming towards that in one way or the other. Whether we know it or not, we are heading towards that. So then Rasananda is just one step less than that. The joy, the exemplary joy, the intangible joy, that Nirguna Nirakara kind of Ananda that we get when we enjoy an excellent piece of art. So that is Rasananda, which is Brahmananda Sahodara, one step lower than Brahmananda. And another very beautiful point which was mentioned by Mohan Bhagwat ji was that any aspect of life is thought of as a medium for Chitta Shuddhi or Sattva Shuddhi or Antakarana Shuddhi in the Bharatiya Sanskriti, in the Indian tradition. See, that is why there was this very fantastic saying by Sureshwaracharya, who was the older brother of Swami Vidyaranya, the person who was instrumental in establishing the Vijayanagar Empire in South India. It's not for him, South India would have become another Pakistan if not for Swami Vidyaranya. His brother Sureshwaracharya, who writes commentaries on the Rig Veda as well, He says, Yaya Yaya Bhavet Tumsan Yutpattif Pratyagatmani Sasaiva Prakriya Sadhi. Any path that an individual takes, for him to make a senses, to make his mind go inwards, Pratyagatmani, any path which leads inwards is the right path. So therefore, art was recognized as one of the most important paths for going inwards, going towards Atmajnana. And like I said already, art or Natya which includes dance and music, sangeeta and nritya, it is very holistic. And the purpose was to entertain and educate, and it is Sarva Varnika Veda, as in the Vedic knowledge was given through the medium of art, through music and dance and theatre to the masses. See, now this mass education was happening through the artistic media. And what the invading forces did was to hijack this so that they can hijack the minds, the hearts of the masses as a whole. So this is a very, very vicious attack which has happened on the art forms of India. See, they have tried to bring in division at several layers, at several places in the society. To start with, there is division at the level of culture and at the level of region. See, we have two traditions, the Marga and the Deshi. Marga is that unifying force which binds all the Bharats together, and Deshi are the regional adaptations of the Marga. Just see, we have this common Samskrita Bhasha which united India, and all the classical texts were written in the Samskrita Bhasha. And the Prakrits were regional adaptations of the same Samskrita Bhasha, the same Sanskrit language, the Samskrita Bhasha. Similar is the Marga and the Deshi. But today, unfortunately, there's some kind of attitude induced saying that Marga is something called Brahminical and it was meant to oppress the masses, and Deshi is something which is natural to Bharat, etc. Absolutely not. Back in the Natya Shastra itself, we see Bharata Muni, the great sage Bharata, speaking about Vritti and Pravritti, where he has seen and acknowledged and recognized the prevalence of both Marga and Deshi throughout the landscape of Bharat. Similarly, Samskrita and Prakrita coexisted. There was never any kind of disharmony or fight between the Samskrita and the Prakrita. See, today again it is being claimed that Samskrita is Brahminical hegemony and the Desha Bhashas are what are natural to India. Absolutely not. That's not there at all. Back in the Natya Shastra again, we see the Samskrita and Prakrita coexisting. Any of the Samskrita Natakas that you take or Prakaranas that you take, both the languages are present in all the Natakas. You take Abhignana Shakuntalam, for example, of the fantastic scholar poet Kalidasa. He uses 15 kinds of Prakritas in his Nataka along with Samskrita. So both of them coexist. So there is this language divide which has been artificially induced by these political parties. And there is gender divide also, gender divide as well. So there is this tendency of saying that art is meant only for women. That is one section. There's another section of the society which says art is meant only for men. But then we see both Mahanata, Shiva, and Devi, Saraswati, both of them are dancers. And in Shiva is Ardhanarishwara. The non-division between the male and female, the unity of the male and female is seen there. Right? So the gender divide is also definitely not true. And also, see, today there has been this other vicious tendency of changing the structure and the content both, like Nalini ji was mentioning, by destroying the content. See, for example, the names of our devas, rishis, etc., which are present in several of the Karnatak sangeet compositions of Tyagaraja Swami or Muthuswami Dikshitra, etc., they are being replaced by the term Yesu or Prabhu, etc., and they are using this entertainment medium for conversions. So they are trying to show that our Karnataka Sangeet and also Bharatiya Nritya is adaptable to Christianity and is adaptable to Islam, and therefore using them as mechanisms to force their own predatory ideologies of religion on people. So the removal of the text, the tampering with the text of the great composers of India, the sage composers of India. And similarly, we had evidences for a father called Francis Barbarossa, who had introduced certain mudras, certain abhinayastas in the South Indian dance, Satir or Bharatanatyam, to indicate God, the Father, Son, the Holy Spirit, the risen Christ, the Mother, Mary, Cross, and the Madonna. All of these have been introduced into the Bharatanatyam vocabulary. Even today, there are schools which are teaching this. And by removing all the Hindu names, the names of all the Hindu devas, names of all Hindu rishis, there's a disconnect that the younger generation is developing about our own soil, about our own culture. And they are without their knowledge, very innocently they are taking in whatever is being given to them. See, for example, the Kalai Kaveri, or there are several dance institutions and music institutions which run in parallel with the Christ University, St. Joseph's University, etc. There are several of these missionary universities where there are dance departments. And the students who go there, they very innocently start believing what is being taught to them, as though Christianity kind of really can blend into the Bharatanatyam or the Karnatak, sangeet, etc. And see, with the removal of the Purana Katha, the Puranic stories from the dance traditions or the sangeeta traditions, we are disconnecting ourselves from the Purusharthas. Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha, the four fundamental Purusharthas, the Chaturvarga Purushartha, they are the foundational stones of the Bharatiya Sanskriti. Right? See the story of Rama, look at the story of Krishna. So many beautiful values, Manviya Maulyas are embedded in them. Now there is a disconnect. Art was the best medium to gain the trust of the audience, to enrapture the audience, and through enrapturement, through entertainment, educating them. So art was a fantastic medium. Now we have removed all the stories of the devas, of the rishis, of say all the children of the Purana, say Prahlada or Dhruva, etc. And therefore the Manaviya Maulyas, the Purusharthas, there's a disconnect from the younger generation, unfortunately. And it naturally induces disrespect and disregard to everything that is Indian. There are some statements which have been made by certain of these political elements. See, one of them, Saju George, who was a priest from Kerala. So that person said, having also danced before Pope John Paul II in Delhi, he has thus raised Bharatanatyam to the realm of Christianity. So Bharatanatyam was downtrodden, it was fallen down, and Christianity had to come to raise it up, and it got its sanctity by being performed in front of Pope John, Pope John Paul II. And see in concert imageries of Radha, Krishna shared a platform with the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus. What kind of blasphemy is this? The kind of symbology, the pure love, the Jivatma Paramatma concept which is there in Radha and Krishna, the Ardhanarishwara that we see in Shiva, Bhagavan Shiva, or the great kind of family life that we see in Rama and Sita, the best kind of king, the best kind of son, etc. That is being compared with the crucifixion of Jesus. Right? So both of them being placed in the same platform. And Kalakshetra, which is an institute for dance mainly, which also teaches music and other visual arts in Chennai. So when it was under the governance of Leela Samson, she was the director for quite a long time. So she removed the Vinayaka images, the Ganesha images which were being worshipped there. And then she started presenting the Puranic characters, the characters of the Ramayana, the Mahabharata, as equivalent of Batman, Superman and Mickey Mouse, reducing Rama, reducing Krishna to the level of Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck. Is it something which the profundity which is embedded in the Panchamaveda? Mahabharata is called the Panchamaveda, Ramayana is also called the Panchamaveda. Veda Vedye Pare Punsi Jate Dasharatatmache, Vedas Pracheta Sadasi Sakshat Ramayana Atmana. Ramayana is also called the Panchamaveda. The kind of value system which is embedded there, the Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha. About Mahabharata also, Bhagavan Vyasa himself declares, Dharme Chante Kamecha Mokshe cha Bharatarshava Yadi Hasti Tadanyatra Yanne Hasti Natat Kvachita. Such a bold declaration Maharshi Vyasa has made. The aspects of Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha which are present in the Mahabharata, that's the best compendium, that's the best encyclopedia of values. So that is what Bhagavan Vyasa has mentioned. But then removing all those elements from Indian art is a very great disaster which is happening. And one last point we have seen of late as well, T.M. Krishna saying that he will take music to masses, singing amidst garbage, bringing great amount of disrespect, agorava to the entire music system, and singing in churches, synagogues, mosques, etc. A great amount of blasphemy, a great tragedy Indian art is facing. So we'll have to awaken ourselves. The kind of problems that Indian art is facing, Bharati Kala is facing at the level of structure and content. We'll all have to open our eyes. Namaste.